Hello, everyone. Just testing the audio real quick. We're about to go live. We're live right now, but waiting for Anthony to join the discussion, and then we'll start the podcast. But figured I'll just wait for people to join, and if anyone decides to join, but yeah, and then we'll get into the podcast. Let me just send that link out. How's everyone doing? How's the audio sound? This is a brand new mic, so uh, how do I sound? Just seeing. Let me pull up my notes real quick. Got a little bit of a surprise on this episode, but we're talking about network today. Hold on. Let me just pull up the stream real quick. Am I too quiet? I hope I'm not too quiet. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of a delay. Let's move my mic a little bit closer. Okay, I think that sounds good. But how's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? Okay. Just waiting for people to join. I'm gonna pull up this Google Docs on here. Everything sounds good. I like this mic. This mic is like super sexy. Like it's super crisp. Uh, Anthony is just finishing up network because I that's honestly my bad why this stream is delayed or the recording is delayed because I made it seem like we were doing a watch party for network. So he didn't watch it until 4 o'clock my time. So that's why I had to push the stream back. But that's my fault. So my fault for yeah, all that. But he's just finishing it up right now. So excited to talk about this. This movie was kind of eye opening, but not really. um, a new episode of Ted Lasso. Oh my god, we gotta finish up the stream. Ted Lasso drops episodes like super quick. Like I'm not sure if I like that, but I gotta edit this podcast when we're done recording, and then uh, I gotta get ready for work tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, today on the podcast we're talking about we're going to do our what we've been watching segment. I only have a few films to talk about, and then kind of vibe a little bit like we normally do in the introduction, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Oscars, even though the Oscars it feels like they happened like 3 months ago, but it's uh they really happened like a week ago, really. So we're gonna just talk about that because I haven't actually had a chance to talk about it, and then we'll move into our featured review for Network, which is the Letterboxd 244th film on the top 250. But yeah, as far as I know, because I'm pulling from the list that I locked in on January 25th. I think Network fell off the top 250 to my knowledge, but it's not forgotten. It's not forgotten. Um, yeah. Um, he says he's finishing up the movie right now. I think that's super funny. I should have clarified like earlier in the day, but I don't know. Um, yeah, it's in the past. It's in the past. So let me just tweet out the stream. We are live. It's like I was broadcasting on my OBS account, but StreamYard just seems to be way better at this point. I just like how everything it's easier for people to join. Um, yeah. Just doing a social media blast. Yeah, I had to push back the stream earlier because I had no idea about this. Um, like there was like a lightning storm, thunder and lightning storm, and I didn't want to like fry my computer while recording this. So hopefully, I'm glad that it's relatively calmed down by now. Tweeted out the stream. Let's see if people actually join. I yeah. Sometimes I wonder like why I do this, but I don't know. It's for you guys. So it's like I'm literally on like 30 social media apps. Probably shouldn't be, but it's really to be honest, I'm only on like two. It's just Instagram and Twitter. Not really TikTok anymore, but let's post a story network. Just post the same thing like I did on the Real Lovers channel. Link, link. It's part of the reason why I only use Instagram really because I like that I can just drop a link and people can just click it and watch. TikTok makes it a little bit more difficult. I don't even know if it's going to be seen either at that point. But yeah, just killing time right now. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it that we have for the show. It shouldn't take us more than like an hour or so. I've been trying to keep these kind of like tight and not have them go like 2 hours long. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. 2:40. I just want to like confirm real quick. Um, the next film will be A Face in the Crowd, and that will be we're gonna try to record it this Thursday, but yeah, we'll have to confirm all that because I'm trying to get back on my regular schedule because I've had a few guests on here where they had to they were like on the other side of the planet different time zone. So we had to like reorganize like the schedule and stuff like that. So hopefully it will be back to going live Thursday and uploading on Friday um, next week. Next week. So hopefully. But yeah, after network, we're going to be talking about A Face in the Crowd. A Face in the Crowd, which I haven't seen. Most of these I haven't seen leading up to. I think I've seen Saving Private Ryan, which is in about 4 weeks. I have not seen Little Women, which is the week after A Face in the Crowd. And really, the one that I've seen the most times, it's coming up on Cinco de Mayo, which actually turned out perfectly. Where I'm talking about Coco. Coco is number. Hold on, just doing it in my head. It's like 230, 237, as of the list that as of the list that I made. But yeah, the list that I locked in. But yeah, yo, Anthony,
I'm an idiot for going on my
what's
phone
up?
so much.
What's up? What's up?
Not much. I gotta rewatch Network again because I use my phone so many times while watching a movie.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
But
It's
I did pay
okay.
attention to like 60% of the key elements.
If you want, we could just like record tomorrow if you
Nah,
want.
nah, I remember the movie very well. I'm mad as hell and I feel like saying something right now. I'm mad as hell and I feel like saying something. I fucking hate phones.
Oh man.
This phone right here. This phone. Fuck this fucking phone.
Well, Anthony, everyone, Anthony,
Hello
everyone,
guys, what's up? I'm
from
just
native
squeezing around.
Brooklyn.
I love my phone. I love my phone. Love it. But
Right.
I had to be Peter Finch for the day and go, I'm sick and tired. Wait, I was waiting for him to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, but that never happened.
Right.
I'm mad as hell and I feel like saying something.
So to me, we'll get into it when we get into the actual review. But I have thoughts about that. About that.
Actually, yes, I really do too. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Jeez, every time I'm going up on a recorded video, someone's gotta interrupt me. I hate that shit so much.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yes, so I did rewatch Network. I did watch it. I'm gonna rewatch it again to analyze my thoughts on it on when I do the TikTok review.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie is something interesting. Would I say it's like a masterpiece compared to Sidney Lumet's other movies like Serpico and 12 Angry Men? I'm gonna be real. Fuck no. It's a little overrated, and that people hype that shit up as like the best film of that decade. I'm like, it's not great.
Right.
It's a boring ass movie,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
good boring. It's good boring. You know, it's
Oh.
it's the good kind of boring. But there are times where the pacing drags a lot, and you know we see a
Wait.
lot of. Hmm?
Is 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 your girlfriend in the did she join?
My
Cora?
girlfriend can't join this.
Cora?
She can't.
Oh.
Too bad you're on a recorded hotline. Then join the chat and just type something.
Right?
I sent her that link.
Oh man.
Is
Oh,
it on YouTube? Are we
yeah,
live
it's on YouTube. It's on
Go on
YouTube.
YouTube. Go on YouTube, honey, okay?
This is unhinged. This is unhinged. I love this. I love
This is
this.
amazing. This is where we keeping the podcast entertaining. This is how we keep
Right?
it good.
Yep. This is how we keep it entertaining. Just having people
Yes.
join the wrong link.
Let's see, you live right now? All right.
Yeah, I'm live right now. That's super funny.
Yeah.
I'm don't I'm I'm just gonna kick her. That's oh man. Oh man.
see if I can bring my headphones into this one.
Um,
Perfect.
you got the outline that I got sent you, right?
What's up?
You
Oh
got
yeah,
this.
let me read that again.
Yeah,
I've read a couple things of what we're talking about, like the Oscars or whatnot.
yeah. I realized I haven't really did like my full thoughts on the Oscars, and it feels
Yeah,
like the
I
Oscars
like to
happened
talk
like
about that.
it feels like that happened like years ago, even though it was like a week ago.
Yeah,
Uh, but basically, I'll introduce you. How do I pronounce your last name, Anthony?
Caban.
Caban. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just
there
wanted
you
to make sure I got that right.
go.
Uh, so I'll basically do an introduction to the podcast, and um, then I'll introduce you, and then we'll get into what we've been watching. I only have like 3 movies, and then you can pick like whatever you've been watching too. That's not network, and then we'll get into a brief Oscars discussion, and then we'll get into our review. So and then you'll probably hear me pause like here and out like to help me with like my edit. Like I usually pause like right before the review so I can like cut in like a trailer or like audio or something like that. But she's still on the phone.
I hung
She's on
up
the
on her.
phone.
I told her if she wants to talk to me, she just watch the whole video.
Right, exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to spoil the intro. You already know what the intro is, but
For network?
no, for the podcast. You see it on the outline. You see it on the outline. I, hold on. Well, let me just put in the private chat. I just don't want. Uh, I don't want to spoil
Oh boy.
it.
I gotta relook at it. You put that on the holy shit.
Okay.
I mean,
Are you ready? I'll
oh, I'm
press
ready.
down.
Let's
Okay.
do this.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do this.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna go like this.
I'm looking at.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Real Lovers podcast, the podcast that takes you on a cinematic journey through some of the most. Hold on, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start over. Okay. Oh man. Oh man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start that one over. But what are you smiling about, man? What are you smiling
Right over. Let's do this.
about? Okay, do it live. We're doing it live.
We're doing live. Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
Thing sucks.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to The Real Lovers, the podcast that takes you on a cinematic journey through some of the greatest movies ever made from the Letterboxd Top 250. In today's episode, we're diving into the 1976 satirical masterpiece, Network. Directed by Sidney Lumet and written by Patty Chayefsky, Network is a scathing commentary on the media industry and the impact it has on society. The film follows a television network that exploits a mentally unstable news anchor for ratings, leading a frenzy of madness and cynicism. As we review this iconic film, we'll explore its themes of corporate greed, sensationalism, and blur the lines of between entertainment and news. We'll discuss the incredible performances of its all-star cast, including Peter Finch, Faye Dunaway, and William Holden. But for anyone that that didn't know about the intro, I had ChatGPT write that intro, and ChatGPT is a little unhinged when it comes to intros. But I welcome to the Real Lovers podcast. My name is Marley, and joining me on the podcast today is Anthony Caban. How you doing, Anthony? How you doing? Anthony is a filmmaker from Florida. He's an actor. He's just an all-around great dude that reviews movies on TikTok and Instagram. Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just we just kind of experienced like a pretty bad storm, and it's still kind of windy out. But hopefully we won't have any lightning strikes like here during the recording. But
Yeah.
I'm doing good other than that.
And by the way, guys, I'm just the filmmaker who loves talking about movies, reviewing movies, even making movies. So I'm just basically an addict
You're
of
just a
all
real lover.
sorts.
You're just
I'm
a
a
real
real
lover.
lover. I'm an addict of all sorts,
Right.
except cocaine. That
Yeah.
shit can kill you.
As ChatGPT explained like earlier, is we're reviewing Network. It's number 244 on the Letterboxd top 250. But before we get into that, I like to do a what we've been watching segment. So Anthony, what you've been watching?
So this is interesting. Um, I am trying to get back to watching a lot of movies from 1970 to 1979 based on
Mm-hmm.
what I have on my Blu-ray shelf. And I've also been watching a couple movies that are on my list. So recently I just watched Grave of the Fireflies. It is a very incredible film and very masterfully well made, done in an animation form. A film about war and depiction and how a father and daughter survives a war in Japan where and things become very pretty much bad. It's basically it's not a coming of age. It's not an action movie where you beat somebody up. It's more of a it's more of a surviving a war film on your own grounds, and while it has become a detriment, and how things just become it's just basically it's basically a social commentary on war and survival, but from a perspective of family done in an animation form. I won't spoil anything. It came out in 1988 from Studio Ghibli, a masterful film that will punch you right in the heart and will leave you crying. It's like Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List, but separate all those characters and just put the daughter and the father.
And that's Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes.
I have not I've not heard of that film, and I want to say I'm a pretty big Studio Ghibli fan, but like you said it came out like in the 1970s,
No, 1980s.
1980s. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I know I said pre-70s movies, but but also I do have a bit of 80s movies that are on my list, but 80s is going to come like in the summer because I like to have that summer feel of the 80s. But right now I'm kind of like in the spring mood of the 70s.
hmm
So I do have a lot on my watch list. Like I want to watch Nashville from Robert Altman. That's on my watch list. I
hmm
do have plans to watch The Deer Hunter. Never fully watched The Deer Hunter. I've heard nothing but holy fucking amazing things about it. I remember, I know the Russian roulette scene that Robert De Niro did with Christopher Walken. Um, and then there's also other movies like Kramer versus Kramer that I want to see because of Marriage Story. And then there's also other 70s movies, Norma Ray, The China Syndrome, The Parallax View, Clute, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. I like to see a lot of like real good under gems, despite that they were nominated. But
yeah. I heard really good things about the Deer Hunter. Ryan Dunnigan, he's been on this podcast like before, and he's
mhm,
been pushing me to watch it for like the past ever since I've known him, pretty
yeah,
much. So it's like, yeah, that's like the 1970s to like 79, like are kind of like a blind spot for me too. But we're 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 knocking one off with Network because that's 1976. So
yeah. A lot of people like a lot of people watch movies. You know, a lot of people go out. You know, you have an average film goer that says, "Oh, my favorite movies are Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Goonies, Terminator 2," and I'm just like, I love hanging around with people that love those movies, but I don't think they get bitches. If you watch
uh,
movies, if you watch movies like Persona, fucking Network, fucking what do you call it? The Bridge of the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia. If you watch Midnight Cowboy, you better be getting bitches right there. That's how you get bitches. I'm just messing around. I have
No,
a dark humor. Okay.
I will just say the one way, since you got me on this, the one way you do get bitches is by watching a franchise that. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there today. Is there anything
Family.
else you've been watching this week?
Family.
No, no, we're not going to. We're not going there. We're not going
No, but seriously though,
there.
I do love a film goer that loves these movies, but I really do think that when they talk about these movies nonstop, it's like you're missing out on other movies. And a lot of
Hmm.
pre-70s movies, or even 70s movies for that matter, those movies are the ones that are like fucking original and just beautiful. Like
Right.
I've only seen like not I haven't seen a lot of 70s movies recently, but that's a list we'll talk about all the way at the end. But right
Right.
now, Grave of the Fireflies is one movie I just watched yesterday. Um, I did watch Shazam, Fury of the Cunts. That movie could suck a dick. I'm fuck the Rock.
Uh,
What?
I think I've been reading a lot of I saw Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. I think people are hating on that movie a little bit too much. Like I think it's just kind of playing off of like what it was of what the first movie already was. The first movie was very kind of like tongue in cheek and kind of like and very up like if you're not into Zachary Levi humor, then you're not gonna dig Shazam: Fury of the Gods. And I feel like I feel like the sequel is doing the same thing that the first movie already did.
I don't
But
know, bro. The problem isn't really Zachary Levi that comes to mind. It's the screenplay, unfortunately, that just couldn't handle it well. And so I'm kind of waiting on Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle and The Flash, and hopefully those movies can actually get my excitement up. I'm not really too keen on The Flash, but you have Michael Keaton as Batman, so I will give it the benefit of the doubt because you can't really crap on Michael Keaton as Batman. You just can't. That man is a very talented actor. He's a versatile actor, and when he plays Batman, it's great. And you got to give Tim Burton those two Batman movies respect because they did choose the right people for those roles. I mean, Jack Nicholson as Joker. That's
mm-hmm,
an awesome choice. You got an Academy Award-winning actor for fuck's sake
mm-hmm.
playing the Joker, and you have Michelle sexy ass Pfeiffer playing Catwoman. You got Danny DeVito as Penguin. You got Christopher Walken playing Max Shrek, or if that's how you pronounce his last name. I don't know. I think the ogres will be mad at taking that name. You also got Michael Koff or Goff, whatever, as
Yeah,
Alfred. Very good actor. Has been in plenty of Tim Burton movies. And then you also have, of course, yeah, that's about it actually. No, that's about it. I mean,
yeah. I haven't like seen I haven't seen the original Tim Burton Batman movies in like a really long time.
same.
I want to like revisit it because I remember watching it as a kid and like just like it's Batman. Like when you're a kid, you're like you're eating up superhero movies like crazy. It's not like now like we're going down the Letterboxd top 250 and watching all of
Mhm.
like the auteur films from this certain eras. But from what I remember, Batman, the Tim Burton Batmans were probably some of the better ones. I'm still probably a bigger fan of Christopher Nolan's Batman, just because it's a
Oh,
lot more
fucking
grounded.
A, of course.
It's a lot
Dude,
more
I
grounded.
love Nolan's Batman. That's like my favorite.
And you said like like an Academy Award winning actor to play Joker. Like you already you have that with Heath Ledger.
Exactly.
But
That's
yeah.
also that's also something I didn't add. You also got you have the majority of actors you have playing Joker are well respected Academy Award winners, you
Hmm.
know? And so the thing about it is this. I love Heath Ledger. I think it's disrespectful to throw shit at the guy for playing Joker and say what you want. You know, Joaquin Phoenix played Joker and he did a great job, but I wouldn't say he's better than Heath Ledger because he's not trying to be better than Heath Ledger. I think Joaquin's portraying a different level of Joker. You also have I mean, you also have Jared Leto, who I'm not going to talk about his portrayal of Joker. I'm
What do
gonna,
you? Jared Leto played the Joker.
yeah,
To
Suicide
my
Squad.
knowledge, he did. He didn't. That was some. That was some other weird movie.
Well,
I I
I
never
think
even
he
watched Suicide Squad, to be honest.
that's
I never watched it.
interesting. Well,
I never watched it
well, if
because
you
I didn't care.
well, do you love Hot Topic?
No, no. Last time I went into a hot topic, we're already on a tangent already. But last time I went into a hot topic was like 2 months ago, and I literally felt so old, like
Well,
so old.
if you don't like Hot Topic, then you will not like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is basically a Hot Topic movie.
Well, yeah, judging by everything that, like, when I walked into a hot topic 2 months ago, that's all I saw. It was just like Harley Quinn, Joker, just like everywhere, and then maybe some like community like shirts like thrown in there, but those are kind of buried in the back. But
I mean,
but
based on the fucking movie that I've seen, it's a Hot
mhm,
Topic movie for people who are in that fucking Gen Z world. I don't even know what to say. It's basically the Gen Z squad, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
right,
But no, my top. But The Dark Knight is my favorite Bat movie. I will stand by what I said. I don't care if people say the Batman is better. I will die on that hill and say that Christian Bale is the best Batman. I will die on
I think
that
it
hill.
goes if it, since we're ranking Christopher Nolan Batman's a little bit right now.
The
I've
Dark
always
Knight.
gone Batman Begins, and then we
Okay,
go Dark Knight, and
okay,
then we go Dark Knight Rises.
that's fair.
I
That's
I
fair.
like Batman Begins a lot,
Okay.
but
Well, Batman
that's
Begins is a very good film. It is a great film, actually. Good my ass. What the fuck did I say? It's a great film.
I just like
It's a
samurai
great movie.
movies. I like samurai movies, and
Oh
like
hell yeah! Seeing Batman with the samurai, that's always gonna be fucking badass. Like him
right.
training with Ra's al Ghul and Henry
Mhm.
Ducard, um, amazing. Liam Neeson in a Nolan movie, beautiful. I see on
Right.
the motherfucking cake. I love Batman Begins. Do I love Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight? On the same level, yeah. But I do think The Dark Knight is a more better movie because of Joker and Two Face, and it's got more. And it's a lot more longer than the Batman Begins in terms of
Mhm.
runtime.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises is kind of like it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
This is
That
generous. That's
that's it.
generous.
It's a good movie.
just
All right.
stop. Just stop right there. Just stop right there. It's a
No,
good
it's a good
movie.
movie. It's a good
Yeah.
movie. It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
But is there anything else you've been watching besides? I know it was a huge tangent from Shazam, but
In Bruges for the first time.
ooh, ooh, for the first time, thoughts.
Mm.
What are your thoughts?
It's it's so Xavier and I saw the movie together in here.
Hmm.
Xavier said it was okay. He says it's a 7 out of 10 for him.
Really?
Yeah. I think that it was a very good movie. Would I say it's a great movie? No.
Well, here's the thing. The thing about Martin McDonough is that, like, when I go into a movie, I just know that the script is going to be solid, and you can't deny that the script for In Bruges is probably one of the best scripts he's ever written.
Oh,
And
it's a
that
good script. Yeah, go on.
I'm just saying that after like rewatching like Banshees for like the second time, and Banshees is a solid script and probably should have won. We'll get into our Oscar discussion a little later, but he probably should have won best original screenplay. But but yeah,
Sure.
I just think it's like when you go into a Martin McDonough film, you're expecting like a decently written script.
Right. I would say that In Bruges suffers from one little plot point, and that is the motivation for Ralph Fiennes coming after Colin Farrell. Like that whole reason just sounded really stupid, and I don't get it. All because he killed a little boy. That was just a very stupid plot line that I just didn't really care for.
Hmm.
Like I
It just
love
didn't
the
resonate with you. It just didn't
yeah.
resonate with you. Yeah.
It just felt like that makes no sense. I mean, if you really wanted to kill him, maybe you could have had him like snitch out or some shit like that. Be a snitch, throwing money away, maybe pissing off Brandon Gleason's character.
Hmm.
But the first two acts were amazing. And then the third act kind of got like it kind of ruined it. It kind of ruined it. The last few minutes kind of ruined it a bit because Colin Farrell could have used that gun to shoot the guy, and now it's like he's alive. I mean, I highly doubt he died from the injuries because he did get shot like 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
it's interesting 'cause even watching films like that were made like a long time ago and watching them with like 2023 eyes, because I feel like if you were to like watch it like when it originally came out, I feel like you would have liked like that final act. But knowing like how like those type of films kind of like uh those type of films have resolution now, and you have that knowledge, you kind of have like higher standards for
oh,
how.
as a 9-year-old kid, I would have said the same thing. What the
Oh,
fuck? I would have told my mom, "What the fuck? Why is he killing him, mommy? What the fuck is going on?" But everything else, yes, you are right.
mm-hmm.
Every other movie, I will feel the same way
Mm-hmm.
because now reflecting on it, yeah, actually, no, yeah, you're 100% right because looking at movies now, watching movies that were like from the 2000s that I've never seen, watching it now as I'm older, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that mindset is different because if you were to watch the movie when it came out now, like if you were to watch that movie in 2008, yes, you would be like, good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You would be very critical. But years now in 2023, of course you're going to feel critical because you're analyzing the movie more
Mm-hmm.
than just
You're
saying you love the movie.
you're older, your brain matured like a lot more, and like I
Mhm.
like in 2008 I graduated high school. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I
2008?
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at that point. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But like I experienced life in like in like much differently from I actually want to rewatch it now to see like uh uh how In Bruges holds up with myself. But
In Bruges is like the weakest of Martin McDonald's movies, if I have to be real. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Like I'll give it a B plus, like a
mm-hmm.
B plus. Um, Three Billboards Outside Ed, Missouri. I love the fucking film so much. That's an A, a solid fucking A. And then
See,
Banshees of go on.
go ahead, go ahead. I'll let
Banshees
you
of
finish.
Inisherin, or as I like to call it, it's a nasty joke. I think YouTube will take it down if I say it. Banshees of In Her Sharon. Thanks a lot. I think when my editor Vandy sees this, he's gonna be laughing at my ass because he probably told me
I'm
to say
dead.
it.
I'm dead.
My editor told me to say it.
I'm gonna cut that one out of the podcast. I'm gonna get canceled.
Because every time we're editing movies, I'm in the editing room with him. He says, put it in as a dirty joke. And I'm like, shut
You
up.
know, we're both filmmakers, and
Yeah.
I think that I'm sure you were taught this too, like in your early like film career, is that you have to say a dirty joke on set or it's bad luck. Like if you don't,
I've never heard about that, but
that
unfortunately it has happened.
the first film set that I ever worked on, I think I told you I worked on The Other Kids. It's a small indie film,
Mm-hmm.
feature film, and the director just walked up and said, "Hey, got to tell a dirty joke today." And like I didn't know this guy. I'm just like operating the boom. The boom, I was just a boom operator, and all of a sudden I just bust up laughing when he whispers that in my ear, and I'm just like, this dude. I just met this dude like yesterday, and he's just telling me to tell a dirty joke, and I'm like, I don't I can't remember the joke off the top of my head. I'll have to revisit it maybe at the end of the
I do
podcast.
remember we have a couple. We have a very good couple. But if I'm gonna take one out of it, we had a joke on set. So we were just filming, and I was saying, "Let's get to the camera work. Let's roll sound." And then my audio guy uh, says, "That's what she said."
See,
But he,
to be honest, that's what she said. Jokes I feel like are kind of a cop out, dirty joke right now,
it's
especially
just, it's old. It's
since
an old joke.
since the Office, and
Yeah.
everyone's saying it. It's not dirty anymore. It's it's like yeah, she did say that.
And then I look at the sound guy, and I just tell him, "Shut the fuck up and just roll the fucking sound."
Oh man.
So I'm sitting here like, "Shut up, man. We're trying to fucking film."
Quiet on the set. That's when you're like quiet on the set. right?
Oh no, sometimes there are times where like if I'm saying I like to say quiet on set a lot because it's more professional, more relaxing. But sometimes I go quiet on the fucking set. Sometimes I mean I've done it on a different movie set, and the script supervisor looked at me like, "Don't do that again," and I'm like, "Fuck."
You're like,
Like I turn around
as
and
you
I
you
yelled.
just fade into the background, just like.
Well, no, like she like what happened was that she was yelling quiet on the set, and I'm yelling quiet on the fucking set, and then she's like, "Don't do that," and I'm like, "Sorry, damn it, I'm trying to help here. I was just an extra. I was just an extra.
You're just an extra. Oh my god.
I was kind of an extra, but I was also having a speaking role. But that film, fuck that film. I had 4 scenes with speaking scenes, and they took my scene down to 10 seconds. Like, fuck that.
Right.
I got my money though, but
You don't
you
have to
know,
mention the movie. You don't have to mention the movie.
nah,
We
nah,
can't say
nah,
it.
man, nah, man,
Don't put
nah,
him on blast. Don't put him on blast.
no, man. This is just like when you say on set fun moments, you know, it's things like this that come back to me. But we're not going to talk about that. I mean, I'd rather if you just cut that part out too, because this is the year where I just don't like bashing up people. I really don't like it. I don't endorse it.
No,
I think that people we need to bring more kindness to this world. I
and
mean,
and and especially since like this industry is so cruel, and I'll get into this when we talk more about network. Is this industry so cruel? It just chews people up and spits people out, and like
okay, John Hirsch from the Fablemans.
or I was gonna say Babylon at that point.
I never heard of that quote before in Babylon.
Well, no, I'm just saying like I'll get into it when we talk about network. I'll get
Well,
into it, but
network does have a lot of connections to things like that in today's world of the industry. But I
yeah,
will say that um, the Banshees of Inisherin is probably my favorite Mark Madonna film. It's an A
hmm
plus, and I have seen Banshees of Inisherin 3 times. Um, I love that film so much.
it's really
I
good.
I really wanted that film to win the Oscar for screenplay because I feel so bad for Mark Madonna for getting fucked in the ass by the Oscars. He could have won for In Bruges, and he did win the BAFTA for it. But then what happened? He lost the
He
Oscar to Milk.
he got 7 Psychopaths, right?
No,
Screenplay for that.
Seven
I thought he
Psychopaths
did.
was never nominated for an Oscar. And I'm like,
What?
what? Oh shit, I forgot. Seven Psychopaths. That's 4 movies I've seen from him. Another
Yeah,
one. Oh my god, top 3, my
that's my
ass.
favorite. That's
Seven
my favorite.
Psychopaths? I can
Yeah,
see that. Three Billboards,
you
my
can
second
see
favorite.
that.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
Billboards is a better. It's my second favorite because I love that film so much. It's funny and dark as fuck. Seven Psychopaths would be my third one,
hmm
and then that's about it. But I want to see, but Madonna, he's got to make a movie that's 4 times better than all of his movies if he wants to win. But I feel bad for the guy. Like the guy did win an Oscar for Six Shooter, but he should win screenplay because he's such a great writer. He's such a fantastic writer, one of the best film directors and writers working today.
Right.
And it's
He
kind of fucked up.
he'll get his due just like Roger Deakins did. He just needs to be nominated 26 more times, and then the Academy will give. I'm just glad that the Daniels didn't have to like make a move be nominated 26 times and for them to finally get recognized. So,
Oh
um,
yeah. I
um,
want to. I want. There's a lot of great things about that moment. I mean, despite that yelling shit out of nowhere, I lost my
but
voice the next day. Um, but yeah,
but
he's got
yeah,
to make a movie that's 4 times better than that, and I just feel bad. Um, I would say, you know, what were we talking about before Martin Madonna? That's interesting.
just what we've been watching. That's a segment
Oh
we've
yeah,
been
yeah,
on.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, in Bruges, I loved it. I love the performance. No, I liked the movie. I love the performances. I loved how different it was. I love the dwarf in the movie because I think Martin Madonna has a thing for dwarfs.
Yeah.
Um, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. It is pretty gross in certain moments, but it's great. My only issue is just the motivation for wanting to kill Colin Farrell's character.
It's just
and
the final act. You
it's
have
just the
issues with the
the
final
way,
act.
yeah, the final act and just the motivation for why Ralph Fiennes wanted to go after Colin Farrell was just
Mm-hmm.
very like what. It's not his best film, but I would definitely watch it again. It's fun.
Right. Yeah.
And those are the only movies I think I have watched lately. I have watched Scream 6 the last couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Never will I ever want to watch Scream 7. But I'm gonna have to, because now it's becoming the Fast and Furious of the fucking franchise so far.
So I try so hard on these podcasts to like not mention Fast and the Furious. I broke a record. The last podcast I didn't mention it at all. And I'm blaming you, Anthony, for just bringing you up twice.
Hey man,
Twice.
listen, you listen here. This week I'm meeting Soon Kane. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to talk about it. And also we did talk about that on the fucking podcast.
Right.
So don't
Right.
gaslight me. No gaslighting.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Scream 6, I feel like that movie I talked about it last week. I feel like a lot of people are hating on it a little bit too much. Not as much as Scream 5 because I think a lot of people hated Scream 5 like a
I
lot.
hate it.
I like Scream 5. I just because I like these Ready or Not guys, the
Okay.
Radio Silence directors. I think that the Ready or Not is probably one of the better horror movies made in like the past decade, in my opinion.
The goofy ending
Uh,
though.
and I feel like they struggled with Scream 5, like introducing like these new characters and saying goodbye to the legacy characters, and Scream 6 was kind of like is more they got to kind of breathe with these new characters. Yeah, it kind of goes away from like what Scream actually is as a satirical kind of like horror comedy, but it kind of it this is Scream for like the new generation. And I feel like yeah, I like the older Scream movies a lot more, but it's
Scream 5 is like a C. It's kind of like a C. Scream 6, I give it a C as well. It's just
mm,
that the more they make these movies, it's pretty obvious who the fucking killer is. It's just some random incel who watched Ghostface on TV and thought, "Oh my god, I'm such a fucking freak. All the girls in college think I'm a creep. I'm just gonna order Ghostface on Amazon and go and get my costume and start killing people."
well
Ah! That's
have
literally
you
what
seen
it
Scream
is.
2? Have you seen Scream 2?
Yes, I think I have.
That
It's been a
that's
long
one of my
time.
that's one of my favorites. I just watched it recently because I marathoned all of them. But Scream 2 is probably one of my favorites because it touches on that like completely, just because it touches on like copycat killers and like after like the first Scream being such a success, you have a lot of people kind of like dressing up as Ghostface and kind of and just copying what he actually does.
Mhm.
And I kind of like that aspect. I think that what Scream 5 and Scream 6 are definitely missing is is kind of is
Family.
they have family in Scream 6. Like, but what it's missing is Wes Craven, to be honest. Wes Craven kind of grounded that franchise
Yeah, I
to a
agree.
level that I think other filmmakers are trying to ground, but they
Mhm.
can't get to Wes Craven's level.
Well, the thing about Scream is that it's missing things. Why is it shot on digital? Because I feel like all the Scream movies were shot on film, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's just like I get it. The whole film versus digital debate can be very annoying. I mean, I know my stance on it. It's celluloid. I'm always gonna love celluloid, even though I never
Mm-hmm.
shot it. But if I get my first Hollywood film, it's gonna be celluloid, and then the next one celluloid, 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 celluloid until I'm dead. I will never shoot on a digital camera if I was given the opportunity, because I will do anything I can to persuade producers. I'm not shooting on digital. I don't want to shoot my shit on digital. When I think of ideas as film,
Mm-hmm.
not digital. And digital just doesn't feel like, it's just not my cup of tea. Like I shoot on digital, it just feels stupid, like putting an SD card in and just suddenly, oh, let's click all the footages. No, I think it's
Like
too easy.
the accessibility is there with digital,
Yeah.
but I can see what you're saying. Like I'm not on one side or the other. I'm kind of like right in the
Hmm.
middle. Like I see the positives of digital, but I also see why I don't think that film should completely die. but I
No,
feel
film
like
should never die, period. And I do think digital
that's
should be an option for people.
that's why I think that I'm glad that you're repping it like right now, just because it's uh because because I don't know, you can't have like one thing, people doing one thing like all the time. You got to have like a few filmmakers kind of like just you using like that one medium, because that allows options. Like options are
Yeah.
good.
I feel like a lot of filmmakers are like, I see a lot of the Marvel movies, and I'm like, why is every single MCU film being shot on digital? Like, I want to know why. Like, does Kevin Feige have something against film? Because Edgar Wright left Ant Man for, I think it's obvious why he left Ant Man, but I think there's also another reason why, and that
Mm-hmm.
is because Edgar Wright shoots on celluloid. He always shoots on 35 millimeter film, and it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty clear, it's evident that Kevin Feige is like, we don't want film, we want digital. And Edgar Wright has shot a few stuff on a digital camera. Scott Pilgrim versus the World was shot on. There were certain scenes that were shot on Phantom HD digital
Mm-hmm.
camera for I think the high speed visual effects moments. And then Baby Driver was shot about 20% digital because of certain night scenes. And I think that he's a bitch for that because why shoot? Why are you gonna shoot? Why are you gonna shoot the whole thing on film? Why are you gonna use? Why are you gonna shoot film and digital? I don't like that. Like film the whole fucking
It
thing
could
on
be budget.
film.
It could be budget.
Fuck budget. He makes movies that have a lot of money. I don't give a fuck about
I'm
budget.
I'm
Edgar a
just
fuck.
saying, like
Oh, I
that's
know what you.
probably that but like when you're talking to a producer or like anyone trying to fund like a project, I feel like their answer is always going to be like, can you shoot this on digital because it's cheaper.
I tell the
Like
producer this. Can you suck my nut? Because I'll shoot the whole thing on film. I will do anything I can to make
this
sure that
this
my first movie
podcast
shots.
is going to have the explicit tag just like in
Yeah.
bold. It's like
I will make
it's
sure that any producer that tells me about formatting, you shoot the thing on film. And I do think that filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino and Christopher Nolan and like Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson, and
Jordan Peele shot Nope on film, didn't he?
well, he says he'll shoot film again, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Film
he
is
shot.
coming back. I think more people are shooting on film than more people are shooting on digital.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a
But
slow
yeah,
evolution.
we can have a topic about film and digital. I'd love to have you back. We can have
Yeah.
like a whole conversation
Oh, there's a
about it.
lot of things I love to talk about in a separate topic right there.
But
Yes.
Scream 6, like you
It
said,
should have been shot on film. Should have been shot on film. Because it
Yeah.
feels like you're dishonoring Wes Craven's legacy. Like if I was
Mhm.
offered to direct Scream 5, I would shoot on 35 millimeter like always. Well, camera selections, I don't care about what camera, RE Cam LT or Panavision XL2. Just give me a 35 millimeter camera. I'll shoot whatever.
Well,
I would
that's an interesting take. I think that what the Radio Silence guys, like the way they honored Wes Craven's legacy is by kind of doing justice to the legacy characters. Especially like spoilers for Scream 6. Like I love the way Gail kind of like got killed off, like in Scream 6. She kind of like went out like in a way she went out in like the Jennifer Coolidge way in White Lotus. Spoilers for White Lotus if you haven't seen it. I just spoiled two things like in less than 30 seconds, but I don't know. I just think that they did the legacy characters really well in Scream 6, but
You
I
want to
feel like
spoil the
that's
White Lotus for me? I haven't even seen the White Lotus, and I want to see White Lotus for Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, I didn't spoil too much about it.
I'm
I'm
just
just
fucking
saying.
around. I'm gonna watch that show. I'm pretty late to the show, so I'm gonna watch it. But
Yeah, I didn't spoil too much. I didn't
I'll
spoil too
watch it
much.
with. I'm gonna watch it for lube, napkins, and lotion
Oh my
because when I
god.
see Sydney Sweeney and I see Aubrey Plaza, I'm going.
I'm,
I love those girls. I love
I'm
Aubrey
leaving all of
Plaza.
this in. I'm leaving all of this in.
Aubrey,
This is
please marry me. Marry me, Aubrey Plaza. I love you. You're amazing. Ever since Scott Pilgrim and the movie Funny People, I've had a crush on you for 12 years.
ever since ever since Parks and Rec for me.
Oh,
Parks and Rec
you're late on this one then. I've had a crush on her when I was 11.
11.
11. When I first saw Scott Pilgrim in theaters, But then I realized she was also in the movie Funny People because I remember watching Funny People in
I forgot
theaters.
that she's in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
I
you didn't
forgot.
know that,
I for I haven't seen Scott Pilgrim in theaters in like it's been years, but I
dude.
remember being the only one sitting in that theater, and I was just like, it like my mind was like ablaze of everything that was going on. I
Bro,
was like,
I'll be real. I'll be real, man. Scott Pilgrim was the movie that got me into indie films.
really?
Yes,
It's sort of indie, like
because
it's
2008. The only movies I've seen in theaters on opening day were 10,000 BC. My sister and I went to go see that, while my brother and my mom saw Spider Chronicles.
mhm.
Um,
What
Spider Chronicles.
what, is that?
Freddie Highmore from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my god!
That fucking
I
hey
forgot
man,
that
no,
movie
no
existed.
shit on that movie. That movie's actually pretty good. Uh, there's also Iron Man. You also have
Yeah.
Iron Man, best drive-in movie I've seen on theaters. And then after that, I went to watch Adult Swim.
Mhm.
I remember, like, I started watching Adult Swim in spring 2008, and I'll never forget how beautiful Adult Swim shows were. I remember I was only watching Family Guy. That's only I came for because
Have you seen
TBS.
a children's hospital?
I
Like
did. Okay, Adult Swim.
so good,
My
so good.
Adult Swim days, dude. My Adult Swim days was basically in April. It was on April 18, 2008. I first watched Adult Swim because I was only coming here to watch Family Guy because
Mhm,
TBS only has Family Guy for 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock slot. So I
mhm.
was like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna watch Family Guy and it's playing at 11 o'clock on Sunday. I was like, fuck yes, or 10:30 p.m. slot. This is when Adult Swim had the 10 p.m. to 5 8 to 6 a.m. slot, right?
Mhm.
So, and I remember watching Family Guy, and then I was like, "Fuck, Family Guy's over. What's next? Robot Chicken." So every slot in 2008, all the way to like the end of August, you had 11 o'clock Family Guy, 11:30 Family Guy, followed by 12 a.m. Robot Chicken, 12:15 Aqua Teen Hunger Force, 12:30 The Boondocks, or the
Oh,
Oblongs,
the
which
Boondocks.
I
Boondocks is solid.
fucking masterpiece. I love the Boondocks. I also love the Oblongs too. So I was pissed off when they put the Oblongs at 12:30. I was like, what the fuck is this? I want Boondocks.
Yeah, I
Um,
spent way too many years in college just watching Adult Swim high out of
I
my
remember.
mind.
I remember.
And
I
what
remember the
I I
bumpers.
I will I I'm glad you brought the bumpers up. I know this we're in what we've been watching, but I need to have like this tangent like right now. Remember when Too Many Cooks the bumper came on at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
I switched the TV because I was like, is this supposed to be Adult Swim bump or what the
I
fuck's going on here?
Why did you switch? Maybe it's because I was just super high at time, and I was just
I
like,
wasn't high.
what show is this? I was just super into it, and it just kept looping, and I was like, oh my god,
I was
like they
trying to go
they
back to
they
sleep.
played it like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
Like they literally
I
fucked
remember.
with like everyone at that time slot. It's
I was trying to go back to sleep, but I guess I was getting ready for school.
mhm,
That's kind of
yeah.
what happened. This was like when the fuck was Too Many Cooks? What, 2014?
It's 2013, I believe.
Yeah, I was a sophomore. I
Yeah.
was a sophomore. Too many. Yeah, no, 2014. This was 2014. Um, this was on 2014. This was after I was a junior when that happened. I was about to break that TV when I was like, "Can this show stop fucking going?" This was the end of the
It's
era for
amazing.
Adult. That was the day I stopped giving a fuck about Adult Swim. That was the day Adult Swim ruined everything for me. I was like, "You're putting all these dumbass shows. You're putting King of the Hill on it. You're putting Bob's Burgers. You're putting fucking
What's
Cleveland
okay,
Show."
okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Oh
Bob's
no, no, no!
Burgers.
Fuck that show.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
No, no! I am not a fan of Bob's Burgers. I don't love the show, but I wouldn't
Muting your mic.
say
I'm muting your mic. I'm just kidding.
no. I'm
I'm
about to
kidding.
fucking say. I'm about to fucking say. I'm about to say.
Everything that you say from now on is irrelevant. I'm just saying. Like I'm in the
Bro,
in the
King of the
edit.
Hill is irrelevant.
King of the Hill is irrelevant. Yes, I don't like King of the Hill, but
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers is legitimately like one of the better Fox comedies that they've made.
but it's not Adult Swim material. Like Adult Swim
It
material should
I
be
will.
like
Yeah, I
what?
see your point there. I see your point there. But yeah.
Like they're putting shows that are not really adult material. Like you're making like Futurama. I didn't watch Futurama on Adult Swim. I never did. But you gotta understand, I watched Adult Swim because of Family Guy.
Mhm.
My first day of Adult Swim was once again April 18, 2008. And seeing all these shows like Robot Chicken, Tim and Eric also show a great job. I tried watching Tim and Eric and I fell asleep. Like I was like, can I make it? Can I survive until 1 a.m. on Sunday? And by the time Assy McGee starts, I'm about to fall
You just
asleep. No, because my
just asleep.
fucking mom gives me pills. That's why to go to sleep. I'm like, all right, my eyes are up. 12:30 a.m. We're about to go to Assy McGee. And then 12:45, Tim and Eric.
And then you just sleep.
The I only survived 3 times with Tim and Eric, and I was like,
Mhm.
yes, I made it past 1 a.m. and I went back to bed. But the closest I've ever gotten was 12:20 a.m.
Mhm.
But I do remember Super Deluxe promos. Did you ever remember the annoying Super Deluxe promos after Adult Swim commercial breaks? Like you have this fucking
Vaguely, vaguely.
yeah,
Like I said, I've watched. The only time I watched Adult Swim is when I was just super high. Like,
yeah.
and it
I
was.
remember watching Adult like I said, I did watch Adult Swim in 2008. Like I watched Adult Swim almost every night from April 2008 all the way to October 2008. And then around November, December, I kind of got annoyed because I kind of got old because of, I wanted to play video games a little more.
Mhm.
And I had fifth grade going on too. I was going into the fifth grade. So I was like, my mom
You're
got
making me
me,
feel so old right now.
we're all old in this bitch. My grandma got me Grand Theft Auto 4 from Blockbuster.
Mhm.
And so I was like, fuck it. Fuck Adult Swim. I'm going to start playing Grand Theft Auto 4 on my PS3 and shoot some people and take some fire trucks. My best part of Grand Theft Auto is stealing fire trucks and helicopters because I love fire trucks. And I love spraying people with water when I'm driving, like a drive-by water shooting.
Right.
But I did came back to watch Adult Swim in 2009,
Mhm.
March, um, with Toonami and all the other stuff, Cowboy Bebop. But I do remember Game Tap and the Super Deluxe commercials. They were so fucking annoying. I was like, is this an Adult Swim bump or something? Like I didn't even know what the fuck they're all about. I was like okay, it's hard for me to remember exactly, but I do remember the Super Deluxe commercials. Like at 12 a.m. and 11 p.m. I'm like, what the fuck is this commercial? It's just like I think it was two people arguing, and it goes "Ah," mature
Right.
content warning, and I'm like, the most ones I do remember is the China Illinois Super Deluxe promos in
Well,
2008.
since we're on this tangent a little bit right now, but the best bumper I think that hit the internet trends was the you know what I'm talking about, right? The one that was all over TikTok. I joined TikTok at like the at like the worst possible time, right when that Adult Swim trend was dying out. You know what?
I joined in June. I joined in June 2021.
Yeah, and I feel like all those videos that people made of like the Adult Swim, like with that one song, I forget. I can't hum the song, but
Loving you is easy. It's the
yeah.
leaving. Nah. My lyrics are basically fucking you is easy. It's my dick that goes hard, hard. I'm like, that
uh,
song is annoying as fuck.
but that trend and like that bumper, I think, is one of Adult Swim's like greatest. And I love that people like got really creative with like making their own bumpers. But
I love the fact that whenever I go on YouTube and I feel like a stalker, but I go on YouTube looking up commercial breaks, Adult Swim, and holy shit, whenever I see some of the commercial breaks on Adult Swim, I'm like, oh my god, this is jogging my memory now. Like right here, like someone has a VHS recording of Adult Swim bumper from May 2008. I'm like,
wow,
holy shit, I remember this,
that's crazy.
and I remember this one. That I
I'm
do
watching the
remember that.
stream right now.
I remember this bump. I remember this bump so well. I was
Right.
like, I was like, I thought it was an Adult Swim show. Uh, I remember this one.
But yeah, Adult Swim.
Beautiful show. Beautiful, beautiful network.
Beautiful channel. They need to have like their own channel. Cartoon Network can go suck a dick, but
No, I think the new Adult Swim needs to bring back the black and white bumpers a little more and stop with this Nick and Night matchup when you see
Mhm.
the end credits. Now it's switching up to the commercial breaks. I'm like, no, that's
Right.
not. No, Adult Swim is dead. It lost what it loved.
So I'm trying to figure out how we got from Scream 6 to
Oh
Adult
yeah, yeah,
Swim,
yeah.
but
The movies.
but
Okay, the
but
movies I've watched in 2008. Yes, I'll
yeah,
finish that. I do remember The
or
Dark
this
Knight.
week you mean this week?
Oh no, I'm talking about 2008 because I was talking about Adult Swim in '08.
Okay.
I remember watching Raiders of the no Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in theaters. I
Fuck
remember
that
that
movie.
one.
Fuck that movie.
Don't you dare shit on that movie. It's underrated. It gets way too much hate.
I'm sorry, dude.
It gets way too much hate that deserves more hate. So fuck that movie. No, you think I love that movie? Fuck no, I don't love that movie. That movie could suck. That movie could suck a nut.
it's it's really funny hearing like Steven Spielberg like answer like interview questions because everyone's talking about a short round TV show since Ke Kwan won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars,
Yeah.
and I watched this one video of Steven Spielberg. What
No,
in
that
the
movie.
morning?
That movie ain't that good.
But
Um.
I'm just saying it like Steven Spielberg basically shut down like the possibility of a short round series just because he said he I don't think he wants Indiana Jones like in like the public like public domain or just society anymore. Like Last Crusade, like he ended that perfectly with him riding off into the sunset with his dad and basically just saying like this character is done. But the studio and people are like, we need an Indy 4, we need an Indy 4, we need an Indy 5. And I'm like, do we really need one? Like Last Crusade ended perfectly, but
I don't know why we need it now.
no, we don't.
Kung Fu Panda. I saw that in theaters. I saw The Love Grew. I saw Get Smart, Hellboy 2, Hancock, The Dark Knight, Step Brothers, Disaster Movie,
Hand
fucking
pussy, that's what I also like to call it. Just kidding.
that too.
I'm kidding.
Um, Eagle Eye. I saw Eagle Eye in theaters. Max Payne, Punisher Warzone, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Marley and Me, The Spirit. I never saw Benjamin Button in theaters. That movie looked like shit. I remember I did watch a lot of movie trailers in 2008 for movies that were coming out. And I was like, Benjamin Button looks like ass. Um, I do remember The Mummy 3 in theaters. I do remember watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Saw, of course, Madagascar 2, Quantum of Solace. Um, and I
That's
think
it.
no, I don't think so. The Incredible Hulk. Never
Oh,
saw Wally in theaters. Never saw
the
Wally in theaters.
the bullshit Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
No, I like that movie. I really do.
Asshole. He's an
No,
asshole.
no, no. Listen,
That's a whole reason why he's not in the MCU. Just because
Edward
he's an
Norton.
asshole.
I don't. Edward Norton could be an asshole. I'm sure that he should have not. Came up with, oh, let's make everything about me, right? I get it. I get it. Say what you want to say about Edward Norton's, asshole behavior, but the movie gets way too much hate, and I really do think that it was a little more serious. It was a bit of a serious movie. Like I enjoyed the hell out of the Incredible
I like I like the Ang Lee Incredible Hulk. That's to to be honest. Like if we're talking about serious like comic book movies,
That shit was a joke, though. That shit had unnecessary comic transitions, which was cool, but it
but
was like
it felt like a comic book movie. Like it was super stylized. I like Ang Lee though. I think Ang Lee is
Ang Lee
probably
sucks. I'm joking. I'm joking. I do.
you're testing my patience.
I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I do love Taking Woodstock, and I really do love. Those are the only two movies I watch. And
Right.
I love them. Hulk is too funny. Hulk is just too funny.
It's
And
great. I like
Bill,
it. I like it.
Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk is trash. It was very bad. It was not a good movie.
It's the best movie to use 3D correctly
Nah.
and high frame rate. I know everyone likes to jump on the Avatar bandwagon, like, oh, this is this is the golden child
Life of
for
Pi has
3D.
better 3D.
Yeah, it does, but I think whatever that name was, but
Mhm.
um,
Gemini Man? Fuck no. No.
okay,
No.
yeah, we agree
No.
there. We agree
No.
there.
Gemini Man was like one of the worst movies I've seen in a theater. And everybody in my theater hated it.
Yeah, it's Gemini Man. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah,
We're not going to
the
talk about that. We don't have to talk
yeah
about that.
we're not gonna talk about it.
Those are the only movies I've seen. Those are the only movies I've seen.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm ready to
But
talk about. I'm ready to talk
yeah.
about which the Oscars or something like that. Um,
I watched a few things this week. We talked about Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I feel like we already kind of touched on that. I also watched Creed 3
good,
in this past week.
good,
Three
good movie.
stars. I give it 3 stars, 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's
I rewatched it again, and
I I lo-
yeah.
I like I'm not too big into like boxing all that much. But I I since I'm not too into like fighting or boxing like sports movies, I like the touches that Michael B. Jordan kind of like brought to it with like the anime influences. Like that final fight was super unique. I really enjoyed that. And then
Yeah.
also watched 65. So like what 2.5. It only got one extra star because of Adam Driver. Adam
So this is
Driver.
something I want to know because I was about to go see the movie. What's so
It's
bad
bad.
about it? What's so bad
It
about it?
it it has no soul. It has no soul. It's really just. I think I went in with the wrong expectations watching 65. Like, if you go in with the expectations of you just want to see Adam Driver just fighting dinosaurs, then you're gonna have a good time. But I feel like I just didn't turn my brain off the way when I walked in that theater. I was just like, I don't know. It's dumb. The CGI is not the best, and I don't know. 65
Well, what was so bad about it? Like the screenplay wise? Like how's the screenplay?
screen screenplay is totally forgettable in my opinion. I didn't really remember too many of the characters, and like the, their motivations are non-existent. Like in like their motivations to do anything like are non-existent in 65.
Like it's bad. Like the motivation is just it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and they don't really establish any motivations at all. It's just
All right,
really
good. I'm
just
not watching the movie then.
It's just Adam Driver just fighting dinosaurs for like an hour and a half. Which thank God it's only an hour and a half, because if it was like a Michael Bay like 2.5 hour movie, I would have like blew my brains out. But but
Well, the movie is box office bomb, I think.
yeah, it is, which is unfortunate. But
Well, right now it's
um,
at 39 million against 45 million.
yeah, I don't know. 65. Check it out if you like like dinosaurs and Adam Driver.
And
So
if you want the sequel to 69, it's not happening.
see, that's the sequel. They already announced the sequel, and they're calling it 69, and it's which if you've seen the movie, I feel bad saying that because it sounds that's really messed up based on the
Yeah.
characters that are in that. It's I'm taking that
So
back. I'm taking that back.
so um yeah. Oscars wise, I mean, I think we've already established what we pretty
Yeah,
much.
we kind of already established it, but let's just touch on since for anyone that didn't watch our stream, we watched the Oscars live. But I kind of wanted to just touch on all the Oscars that were awarded. Just have a little notes. Everything Everywhere walks away with 7 awards out of their 11 nominations. I feel like they're the surprise, and also like just like everyone is happy that it won, just because everyone was rooting for it to win. But do you have anything that I put Brendan Fraser in there because I know you're riding Brendan Fraser for like 6 months since you saw The Whale, right?
Well, to be fair, I have been on the fence of Brendan Fraser winning since I heard nothing but great things about the whale. To be fair, I didn't know who the front runner was because the road to the Oscars began with pretty much everything ever all at once, right? I
Hmm.
mean, that was the first movie I watched, that was like Oscar wise. And I love that film so much. But only if we're talking, but I always thought that film was just going to be picture, director, and supporting actor, and you know, pretty much screenplay and editing. But other nominations, however, I'm like, whoa, it's gonna get Michelle Yeoh nomination and Stephanie
Hmm.
Shu nomination. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Are we gonna take this serious? Are we really gonna take this serious and say that this is gonna be the best picture winner? Because I'm on board with it. I am on board
See,
with it.
you say that, but as people that watched our stream probably saw, like when All Quiet in the Western Front started picking up like a lot of the technical awards and score, I started getting a little worried. That's like, is this like All Quiet's like sweep? Are they just gonna sweep every single category since score? And I'm like, I'm super glad that they didn't, because I still haven't seen that movie and I have no plan on seeing it.
I mean,
If
the thing about the movie is that, like, for me, the box off, like, not box office, the Oscars were always going to be like my front runners early on was this Decision to Leave, but Decision to Leave, I saw that very late. I saw that in November,
mm-hmm.
but I remember Park Chan Wook was probably being thrown around as like the possible, nomination for best director. I was like, dude, I heard he makes good movies, so fuck it, do it. But then, it's polarized. The reviews are good, but it's like it's gonna get snubbed. I knew something was gonna happen to it, but I I'm glad that I saw it, and I didn't like that movie. I didn't like Decision to Leave. I thought it was so fucking convoluted and just
I thought
pretty
it should have won for
much
cinematography.
cinematography. I agree, but
Yeah,
some of the cinematography movements were like it looked kind of weird. Some of the tricks they use, some of the camera work is a little bit like weird.
well, that's Park Chan Wook,
Oh,
like
that's him?
like in a
Okay,
nutshell. Like if you've seen
gotcha.
I Saw the Devil is pretty similar with that, and yeah,
He didn't direct I Saw the Devil, though.
I I think he did.
No, I
I'm
don't think so. He directed Old Boy, Broker, and The Handmaid.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. My bad, my bad.
But I've never seen those three movies. I do love I Saw the Devil. That's actually a very great film.
Hmm.
Um, that's
But
a
yeah,
damn good film. If
um,
if no one's if any of you haven't seen all I Saw the Devil, guys, watch I Saw the Devil. It's fucking good.
yeah, it's good. One other thing I'd like to touch on about Everything Everywhere is I've seen a lot of discourse about Jamie Lee Curtis
Oh
winning
yeah.
Best Supporting Actress over Stephanie Shu, or even forget forget her name from Wakanda Forever. Um, uh, you know what I'm talking about. Um, but everyone is saying that, oh, Jamie Lee Curtis didn't do anything and Everything Everywhere, and I'm just like,
She really didn't.
she didn't. But the whole point is like she mentioned in her speech about like it's not, she didn't win this, we won this. It's more of a win for independent film, and the fact that, and also I saw it as a win for genre films too, because the Oscars are very infamous for not nominating people that were in like horror movies or like genre movies, and the fact
Mhm.
that they recognize Jamie Lee Curtis gives me hope that the Academy is kind of turning over a new leaf for like genre films like in the future. But that's the way I looked at it, because I tried to be as optimistic as I could. Like I and everyone's kind of like uh, uh Angela Bassett. Everyone is like from the picture, like she looked pissed off or something like that. We don't know what was happening at that moment, like when that
Yeah,
picture was
I think
taken.
a
It's
lot of people were making this a race issue, which is like, no,
it's not. Well, it is, but it's not. It's like it is a race issue. I
it's a
believe, but
race issue because she was declared the front runner as she won Critics' Choice and Golden Globe. But the fact of the matter is that she was going to win that Oscar.
mhm.
But they
Well,
also have
it's
beef with Marvel.
you also have to like you also people also have to like think about that Angela Bassett is the first Marvel. like actor to be nominated like in this category. Like she's the first actor to be nominated in the best acting category, like at the Oscars.
Mhm.
And forever she's gonna have that on her legacy. That I feel like I know it's kind of a cop out thing to say, like, hey, it's an honor to be nominated, but really, it truly is an honor to be nominated because there are so many movies that came out. But do you have any other things you want to touch on the Oscars before we get into our review?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay. Dead air.
Yeah, I know. Um,
Is it Cora?
yeah,
Tell her you're recording a podcast.
it's not Cora, it's someone else. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Cora. I'm cheating on you.
It's broadcasting live for everyone to hear.
I don't give a shit. What is your number? My friend is trying to reach you about having you as an actor. That's so cool.
What the?
Sure thing. Sure thing. It's I hope it's not porno.
What? Wow.
I'm sorry. I just got this text out of nowhere, so I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, "Shit!" I'm in the middle of a podcast. Um, it's so there is a couple things I like to add. I wasn't planning on having Brendan Fraser as my first choice in the beginning because I don't know what movie it's about. You know, I mean, I had no actor frontrunners in my opinion, other than Kiwi Kwan for supporting actor. But if we're talking supporting actress, supporting actress, actress, and actor, I had no front runner. You
Mhm.
know, I was like, Austin Butler ain't no fucking front runner. When I saw Elvis, it came out in June. I was like, nah, this dude is like Taron Egerton. He's gonna get fucked over. I was like, he ain't no fucking front runner. Because then you have the fall movies coming out. Nah, they're gonna ignore his ass. They'll give him tech awards. They'll do the Great Gatsby shit, like give him 5 awards. But actor, I'm like, fuck no, he ain't getting nominated for actor.
But
Nah,
that's the weird thing is like Elvis walked away with nothing. Like that's like that was totally surprising. Like for me, I thought they were at least gonna get like some technical awards, but they walked away with like nothing. Like this is the one problem. This is the one thing. Like we'll wrap up the Oscars like right here.
dude, the
Is like
Banshees went home with nothing too.
but that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Is like I'm glad that Everything Everywhere swept, but it felt like like this Academy Awards felt kind of bland. Like it's not it felt very predictable, and I didn't like everything that I won. Like what like basically won. Like that I wanted to win. You didn't really have any like upsets or anything like that. I guess you could say like Sarah Polley Women Talking for
Well,
best adapted screenplay.
that was already a lock from the beginning. That was already a
It
lock
it
from the get go.
it was, but the discourse that I heard on that is that she probably wasn't going to win because of what she was saying about the Academy, but the Academy apparently wasn't listening for what she was saying about like how she mentioned in her speech. She's like, "Oh, I'm really glad that the Academy awarded a movie where women and talking are in the title because it's like because
Well, the thing about the reason why that film won was because they really owe her it's like they owe her an apology because she was supposed to be nominated for director as well. And it's like you're not going to nominate for director, but since you nominated for screenplay, just give her the fucking award for screenplay. You
right,
know, just do
exactly.
it. It's the right thing to do, and it's a really good script. It's a fantastic film. I love women talking. You know,
I still have to see it. It's still on my list that I
well,
have
that's
to see.
because we're watching men talking. I mean, I'm watching two men right here talking. I'm seeing this guy right here who looks like me, and I'm seeing Marley right here. So yes, there's a sequel to it called Men Talking, and then there's gonna be semen talking, and then there's
No,
gonna
the
be cum
sequel is
talking.
Men. The sequel is Men by
But
Alex
with Jesse
Garland.
Buck, bring
By
Jesse
Alex
Buckley
Garland.
back. But where's men
Men,
talking?
the worst. No, that's the movie Men by Alex Garland.
Men. Just have that in the title theme. 2.5 Men and the Alex Garland Men together crossover. So
No,
yeah,
nope.
um, but I did think that Colin Farrell was my front runner choice. I was like, I was like, no, because I didn't see any of the best actor contenders until like the fall. So like there were no like the only movies that I thought were gonna be Oscar contenders was mostly Top Gun Maverick and Everything Ever All at Once. And then Crimes of the Future came. I was like, that's a contender. I also saw the movie. What was it? What did I saw? I also thought that Men was a contender, but I was like,
Nah,
that's a long
that's
horse.
problematic, very problematic. I didn't like
Yeah,
it at all, but
I didn't fuck with that movie. That movie could suck a dick. That's like the worst. That's like the worst A24 movie I've seen. I've seen worse A24 movies.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just
Right, but
it,
worse. It's
it
worse.
it's basically Alex Garland saying men are awful, and like Alex Garland shouldn't have written and directed it, because it's like it sounds fake. It honestly sounds fake, and just
No,
like
he was good to direct it. It's just that
he shouldn't have
it.
wrote it.
No, I was fine with him writing it. It's just that his delivery was just so fucking sexist.
Yeah,
But it was,
and just he sounded like it was. I don't know. It just seemed like he was pandering too. To like a
which I
certain
get
audience.
it. You know, I get it. But it was also like you did hit her, so like, the fuck's
Right.
going on here?
But yeah,
It reminds me of Anomalisa, but horror. You know, Charlie
right.
Kaufman's Anomalisa. So yeah, I thought what was another front runner? I thought those were the only three front runners. The first movie I saw that was a Best Actor contender. It all started with the Banshees of Inisherin, and
Yeah,
then
Colin Farrell kind of got screwed over, I think. To be
I
honest.
think Banshees. If it were my Oscars, I would have not given original screenplay to Everything Ever. I would have given it to Banshees of Inisherin just to be a good guy in the scenario, just to be a Samaritan.
Just
I
kind of
would have,
spread the love, and
yeah.
that's kind of like the thing that I had an issue with these Oscars is that I love that Everything Everywhere swept, but in a
Mhm.
perfect world, I wanted like a more. This sounds really bad, but like a more diverse kind of like awards, kind of like spread out the awards instead of like the awards going to one or two movies, and that's All Quiet and Everything Everywhere.
I was
Uh,
expecting a tie.
a, t- a tie's never really happened though in the Oscars.
It's
It's
happened
only happened like
before.
it's only happened like a couple of times,
But
to
I
my
was
knowledge.
expecting a tie. I was really expecting a tie. Like, cause sound, you can't. It's sound is hard to predict.
Right.
I would have not given production design to All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm like, no, I would have given that to easily Babylon. I would have given costume to Babylon. I would have given original score to fucking Babylon.
hmm I
Like
would have
what?
given original score to Everything Everywhere, and then
No, I wouldn't.
production design. I have no idea why All Quiet was nominated. That should have been Everything Everywhere, like
For
in
which
that
one?
spot for
Which
production
category?
design. For production
Production
design.
design should have just been Elvis. To be honest,
hmm
'cause Elvis, the production design looks 100% like the real world. But I also would have given it to Babylon because oh my god, it's
Yeah. Nah,
costume
nah, nah,
design.
nah, nah.
Na 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 na.
Instead of the All Quiet score.
Na
Nah, nah.
na. Oh.
I'm done.
It reminds me of a lot of Annihilation.
No, the All Quiet score reminds me a lot of just a knockoff Hans Zimmer.
It reminded me of Annihilation. Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyways, that was the Oscars 2023.
yeah. Visual
Let's
effects, I would have not given it to fucking Avatar. I would have given it to Top Gun Maverick. That's the shit you don't see a lot. That's it.
But you know that James Cameron wasn't at the awards, and you know that that was the one award that he was going to win because he's
Yeah,
been.
but he won already. Why the fuck does he need to win again?
That's how the Academy works. But yeah,
It's like
uh,
a repeat offender.
yay or nay on these Oscars.
It was
Just like
cool.
yay or nay. It was
It
cool.
was
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
Will Smith wasn't there. Will
there were
Smith
way
wasn't
too
there.
many fucking sweeps. There were way too many fucking repeats of the tech awards. Other
Mm-hmm.
than that, it's okay.
Yeah.
The acting categories were the best parts. I would have not given Jamie Lee Curtis her award though. I'm sorry to say it. Like, I mean, Scream Queen don't mean shit to me. I mean, she didn't do anything in the movie that's like, what? I mean, if you play a woman with a big prosthetic stomach, I say why not. But Angela Bassett should have won that, or Carrie Condon, because Carrie
Mm-hmm.
Condon was actually
Or Hong
really
Chow.
funny.
Hong Chow.
No, Han Chow is just happy to be there.
Right.
I mean,
And
just because I love the whale doesn't mean I want to give it everything. Not everything, okay? Not everything.
but yeah, the Oscars 2023. It was good. Like
It's decent.
it's decent. It's
Probably
what
the
we expected.
probably the better one of what I got. The better one. I mean, last year was great with Dune taking the tech awards.
Not not into it. Not into it. Not into it. You got to sway me on Dune. Thought it was boring. I fell asleep
Will
like three
Smith,
times.
Will Smith, King Richard was amazing. Love King Richard. That was a fucking great film. I love that film. I mean, I know people say Dick, Dick, Boom with Andrew Garfield. I mean, Tick, Tick, Boom. Sorry. I love Tick, Tick, Boom. I love the film. I love Andrew Garfield's performance. If Will Smith was not nominated, I would have voted for Andrew Garfield 100% easily.
Mm-hmm.
But Andrew Garfield wasn't on the same ranking as Will Smith.
Right.
That was a performance of a father figure who's like, sorry, man, but that Jonathan Larson versus Richard Williams, no. And also,
Well, we can have that conversation a little bit later because I thought that
sure,
Will Smith was a little bit weak in King Richard, but that was the
you
Oscars
racist.
2023. That was I'm not racist. I'm not racist. Uh, that was the Oscars 2023. Let's get into our review of Network.
Let's talk about that movie.
Okay. I'm just give me a little bit of silence, uh, and I'll count us in to talk about it. So I'll count us in. I'll talk about the synopsis, and then I'll have you lead on your thoughts on Network.
Let me get my orange juice first.
Okay. All right.
No.
Nah, nah, nah. All right. You good?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna count us in three, two, one. All right. That was a clip from the trailer from the 1976 film Network, directed by Sidney Lumet and written by hold on, Patty Chayefsky. I'm just gonna read the synopsis here from IMDb. A television network cynically exploits a deranged former anchor's ravings and revelations about the news media for its own profit, but finds that his message may be difficult to control. Anthony, you literally just watched like this movie like before coming on to record like this podcast. What did you think of Network?
Well, I
Dramatic
have
pause.
I have to rewatch Network again because I do think I'm very conflicted on the movie. Like it's easy to just understand the movie, but it's also a very like um it's an interesting movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sidney Lumet. I mean, once I watch more movies from him, I'm gonna end up loving his films. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the man made 12 Angry Men, which is it's my favorite Lumet film. It will
Mm-hmm.
stand out as the best Lumet film. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Fight me on that. You can fight me with Serpico, Murder on the Orient Express. I don't give a flying fucks. 12 Angry Men is the best one. And I love Serpico. Serpico is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third film from Sidney Lumet that I've seen. And what I can say about Network is that Network is a performance achievement. It's a unique film. Peter Finch is giving his best performance and a in his career. This was his final performance before he died, and they posthumously or posthumously. What's the word of it? They call it
Um.
posthumous.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
Like what are you trying to describe? Like.
like they gave him like a deceased actor win, like
Mm-hmm.
Chadwick Boseman. Like Heath Ledger thing.
Like a legacy award or something like that.
Well, he won Best Actor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, posthumously, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is his best performance. I know he's done more movies, but I can easily tell why he won Best Actor. It's easy because his performance as a delusional Howard, what was his name again? Howard
Howard Beale.
Howard Beale.
Mm-hmm.
As the delusional Howard Beale, he is just incredible. It reminds me a lot of Robert Pattinson, The Lighthouse, when he's delusional. It reminds me of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that. It's a masterclass acting, and he's just great. And you have Faye Dunaway, who's a great actress, very good in the movie too. William Holden is also really good in the movie as well. He was nominated for this movie. It's weird that you have two leading actors nominated for Best Actor for the same movie,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, it's it's a little weird, but
it is kind of weird because the same shit happened with Some Like It Hot with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon being nominated. Um, I do think that William Holden's already an Oscar winner. He won for a performance in Billy Wilder's Stalag 17, which I haven't seen. It's on my watch list. It's a film that I would love to see at some point because Billy Wilder is a great filmmaker. Um, all the acting aside is amazing. All the performances are great. Robert Duvall is great. I am a little disappointed he didn't get a nomination at least because he's fucking good in the movie. I
mm-hmm.
mean, Robert Duvall is a great actor. All actors are great. Cinematography looks gorgeous, but Peter Finch talking about I'm angry as hell, I'm mad as hell. When he talks all about that, it gave me chills down my spine and it made my head freeze a tad bit because he is just giving a masterful performance. Like he's out there yelling about how the reality of the news is. He's talking about how today's news is, and
Which is it's funny because when watching this movie, I like this movie a lot too, and I watching this it made me realize like how timeless this movie actually is because you could actually say like the way they exploited like like this anchor that had like a meltdown like this movie starts off with him having like a meltdown like on live TV, and like the studio and the media company exploited that because their ratings went up. And but back in like 1976, you didn't really get a lot of like network like TV studios kind of exploiting stuff like that. It's almost like a Sidney Lumet was like kind of like predicting the future of like where we're actually gonna go with like what CNN is doing with what not like I'm not trying to single out like CNN because they all do it. They all kind of like they all kind of like push this narrative instead of like pushing the news. So it's kind of it makes this film like super timeless, which was it was super weird to say, super weird to see, just because you can also like kind of like see like the way social networks kind of like treat its creatives. They kind of like do the same thing. Like social networks want you to like create a piece of content and kind of like keep doing that niche, kind of like what TikTok is doing. It's like you like we kind of get pigeonholed to like talking about films, even though we want to get kind of want to branch out. But that's not what keeps people clicking like. You know, you see what I'm saying? How it's timeless in that kind of like aspect.
Yeah, yeah, I get where you're coming from. The thing about this movie is that it's not a comedy. I know people say it's a black comedy, but it's really not at all. This is in no way, shape, or form a comedy. If anyone thinks that this movie's labeled as a comedy, you are sadly mistaken. There was not a moment where I felt like the movie has comedic elements. It's a drama. It's a serious drama. It's more about today's political world, which is something I'm not going to talk about because when you're talking about a political movie, sometimes you do get into your real views and everything, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard not to talk about it, but like we're also on a film podcast, and so
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to throw all that. But what I will say, and I'll leave it at this, is that it definitely talks about today's world. And, it talks a lot about the shit that we're dealing with, now and the past.
Yeah, but it's like it's listed as a comedy on Letterboxd.com, like drama and comedy, and I feel like it like back then it probably was a comedy because people probably saw this in the theaters and were like, this is laughable. Like what? Why would anyone want to like push a narrative? Like, don't you like turn on the like like these news channels to like be like informed instead of like being entertained? Like they didn't have like the knowledge that we have now of like what these news companies have turned into. So now it's kind of considered a drama, and that's kind of how like movies can like change over time. Like
Yeah.
like maybe Sidney Lumet was like just kind of like I say predicting the future, but just kind of like having like this. It's kind of like Idiocracy a little bit, like how the movie Idiocracy kind of like was kind of presented as a comedy, but like now when you watch a movie like Idiocracy, it's kind of more depressing because it's kind of like where we are as a society right now. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the thing about the movie, and I see what you're saying, but the thing about the movie is that there really isn't anything like that I can relate to that's comedy. Maybe the comedic side of it is that it talks about the world today, which is kind of funny, but it's not really full comedy for me, like, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say that it's a good thing that they awarded Peter Finch his award.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's good reasons why it won because this was his last performance. Well, it has nothing to do with that, but I feel like a lot of people love that film. And so it's like, give him the fucking award.
Right.
He did a good job. I don't give a shit. He did a good job. He did great. So yeah, fuck it. Give him that damn award.
Right.
Um, I would say that it's sad that that director is claimed as one of the best directors of the industry and has never fucking won. Never fucking won an Oscar for directing.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. That's so fucking sad. And this is the director that has made over more than 10 movies.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's why I never like use like the Oscars as like like this is a sign of success because the Oscars will pick like really like their favorite movie. Like the Academy will pick like their favorite movie. So I don't really like I put a lot of stock into it just because I like watching like the show. But
Mhm.
like when it all comes down to it, like I know we were just talking about the Oscars like a minute ago, but like when Daniel Kwan like when he won for best director, he basically holds the award up and says to his kids saying like this is not like a beacon of success. You do not have to be as good as me to and like for some like I'm obviously I'm not like Asian and like I didn't grow up in like in like that lifestyle, but I have like plenty of friends that kind of like have like that that grew up in like that type of family and how it's like they have to like be better like than the people that raised them like than their mom and dad. So hearing Daniel Kwan like say that to like his community was actually really like enlightening, and we I think we should all kind of like have like that mindset too, where it's like you just because we won this award doesn't mean like we're better than anyone else, because it's like it's such a long shot. But yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
But yeah, network. There wasn't the a lot of things that came from like this movie has like a lot going on, but it's also kind of simple. Like it's really just like it's really just like them just kind of like airing like this guy's like opinions on the world and stuff like that. I like how simple it is, and I think the performances are like super strong. But is it? But yeah, it's let's talk about like the one moment from Network that I feel like gets memed like all the time is like you mentioned it at the beginning is I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. What did you think of that scene? Like
That
with
was the
2023
performance.
eyes.
That was the performance that that movie came out now, if it came out now, I think that the Oscars would have pulled that clip and say, "Yep, he's winning."
Mm-hmm.
That was a win. That performance was 100% a win because that was full of anger. You have anger and you have rage, and that was a performance that was like it felt like Howard, Howard Beale.
Mm-hmm.
That's a him. That's 100% him.
Well, I mentioned this in my Letterboxd review. That scene, like I've seen that scene like everywhere. Like it's in like basically every single montage. Like when you're talking about movies, and having that scene with context of the actual movie now, I feel like it kind of pulls me out of the movie like a little bit, just because like when he's giving the speech, like that's fine, but when the camera starts pulling out and showing like all the people opening up their windows and like saying I'm mad as hell, I thought that was a little cheesy, to be honest. I like you don't need that. You don't need to show people like opening up their windows like when when Peter Finch like exclaims open up your windows and yell out to the world, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. You don't need to show that. We know that
Yeah.
that's probably going to be happening. But
Well, the thing about that scene is that it's more about how are you feeling?
mhm.
Do you guys trust the news? Go out of your way. Talk about how you feel. Throw your anger away. And then that's about it. It's more about telling the people to spread the word, get what needs to be off their chests, get whatever it is that needs to be said.
Mhm.
Speak from the heart, speak what's on your mind, and that's kind of like what I got out of it.
Yeah. Um I got I got that out of it too, but I just kind of wish that the camera kind of stayed on Finch, like Howard Beale, a little bit longer. Like if there was just like a long shot of just Howard Beale, just kind of like just just pushing into like Howard Beale uh as he was like giving this speech. I think that's uh I think that would be a more effective. You don't need to you don't need to say like you don't need to show like what's going on and like outside of the studio. But I did like how like they're kind of like showing like all I don't know. This is a long-winded explanation. I'll let you go. But yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to unfold. I do think that the movie suffers from an ending,
Mhm.
and the ending was like, why do you want him assassinated? Well, that actually no, that thing does make sense because it's like Malcolm X and all these people. They're speaking the truth, and when someone doesn't like the truth, they need to silence you and everything. Network was just more about. It's more of a Peter Finch movie,
Mhm.
which was good. It's just that where the film comes in and it becomes more of a problematic movie is bringing everybody else. Is that you make it about others? You know, we have this story plot of Peter of William Holden. Yeah,
Mhm.
you have this plot line of William Holden's character having an affair, and it's like, did we really need that in the movie?
Yeah, you mentioned that like he has an affair with hold on.
Faye Dunaway's character.
Yeah, Faye Dunaway's character. Thank you.
Schumacher has an affair with what's the lady's name? Like character's name?
Diane.
Diane.
Yeah, but I I felt like I personally liked Faye Dunaway's performance in Network. I think she got a little bit overshadowed just because Peter Finch was such like a groundbreaking performance. But I I think that that moment, like when she felt the need to sleep with her, like 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 her counterparts or like her boss, to like get like to kind of push like her narrative. I thought that was a little unnecessary because I feel like her character could have easily have like could have easily have succeeded without doing that. But that's just how I saw it.
It's just kind of corny
Mm-hmm.
because it really doesn't really. It doesn't make me feel like sympathetic towards that. Like I didn't care for their chemistry about that one. That chemistry was like a little off-putting, and William Holden's character kind of felt a little too much in the way.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been Peter Finch's movie. It's hard for me to tell who the fucking leads were, but the movie is so powerfully well done that that the performances are strong from Peter Finch, William Holden, Robert Duvall, and Faye Dunaway, and Bernice Strait, Latrice Strait, who's fucking great in the movie too for that short scene. She's
Mm-hmm.
great in the movie. Um, and the subject topic of news and what speaking the truth can do to you is powerful. Um, and yeah, all the scenes with Peter Finch are amazing. So it's like A minus, A minus.
Yeah, I I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, and like you were talking about the ending, and I feel like the reason why I was kind of like earlier in the podcast, like about oh,
Go on.
I can hear myself.
Oh, you can.
Yeah. Did you unplug your headphones or?
Took it off.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like it was hurting my ears a little tad bit.
Oh. Do you want me to? I could turn down my mic or.
No, no, no. I really can't hear you on that one. Your voice is not loud on here. It's just this bothers me a lot.
Oh, okay.
It's not. No, it's nothing to do with you. It's a lot to do with. I can't for 2 hours. It's hard for me to put these on for 2 hours.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I can
I'll
still hear you.
Um, but like what I was gonna say is like you were talking about like the ending for
Mhm.
um for Network is the reason why I was kind of comparing it to Babylon at the beginning of the podcast was that both films kind of deal with like people being chewed up and spit out of like a system, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like what happens with Howard Beale's like character. Like he goes on this rant, he gets exploited, and then when the network doesn't need him anymore because their ratings are low, they just kill him off. So it's like
That feels like wow. Like that was just like that was like fuck these people.
yeah,
You know?
it was. But that's the reason why I kind of connected to Babylon because Babylon's kind of similar, where it's like, yeah, this guy's working in the industry, but like when he's not as popular as like he was once before, they kind of like kick him to the side, and that's kind of like the nature of like this industry. And I don't know. I just that's why I kind of was like, oh, there's
I
the
get what you
Babylon
mean.
connection right there.
I get it. Totally get it. Yeah, it chews you out, spits you right out. Yeah,
Hmm.
I get that.
But yeah, Network overall, I I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty simple. Really, just to echo what you said, like the cinematography was amazing. Like
It's
I like the
award
way.
worthy. The screenplay is good to great.
Mhm. Uh, but yeah. Um, anyways, I don't think there's unless you have any final thoughts on Network. Let's
I'd
start.
say Network is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sucks to say that. I wish I could say it's one of the best movies of the decade, but it's really not because there are things about this movie that I really just feel like holds it back from calling it one of the best films of the decade. There's plenty of things holding it back. I do think I need to rewatch this movie again to get a better analyzation on the movie because we do see a lot of other things happening. Like, you know, she's talking about interviewing people for like like the well, some like the Panthers or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I I don't know. I gotta rewatch the movie again.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the movie. I do like it.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. Like, how many stars would you give this, Anthony?
I said 5.5, but I'm going back to a 4.
4, five and a
Well,
half.
yeah, I mean, five. No,
So
five
five.
and a half is usually A minus.
Yeah. You
For
you mean
me,
4.5?
four and
Because
a
you
half.
can't go.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
4.5. 4.5 is usually A minus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sometimes an A, sometimes an A.
Yeah.
But I go with A plus if it's full 5.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes maybe an A. Like I said, it's the same thing. I wish there was a 6 stars so that way I could put A minus can be 5 and 6 stars can be.
Right.
But unfortunately, no. If it's a 4 star on my letterbox, it's a B plus. If
Mm-hmm.
it's 4.5, it's a B to a B minus.
Right.
And if it's 3.5, it's usually C plus, C, and C minus. And if it's a 2 stars, it's a D.
And if it's half a star, then it's just like don't bother.
If it's half a star, don't even fucking bother. It's an F. I
Which
have gave
network is not?
movies, huh?
Network is not. Network is not. Network
Network
is
is 4 to 4.5, 4.5.
yeah.
It's
The
4.5.
Network is a solid film. Let's wrap this up. It's been about 2 hours of just talking about movies. I could talk about movies with you all day, Anthony. But where could people find you online?
Go to my TikTok, same username. Go to my YouTube, same username, and follow me on my Instagram, same username.
All the links. Whoops! I just hit my. all the links will be posted in the description down below uh Anthony's channel. Check him out. He posts really great reviews. Check out his short films and feature films.
Thank you. I
Like
appreciate that. Thank you
like
so much.
it, I really like what you're doing. Like in
Thank you,
the film
bro.
industry, it's really great, and
Thank
I'm
you.
super glad that we met. So,
Well, I want to go to California this year.
mm-hmm.
My girlfriend is begging to go to California, so I told her, I promised her, we're gonna go in the summer. So hopefully, I'd like to see you if we ever come across and meet.
For sure, for sure. But
Um,
you, you can if people are listening to this live stream or watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button,
and make
hit that
sure this
subscribe.
video, make sure this video is public because I'm ashamed that the Oscars wasn't on public.
I had to put it on private because I got copyright struck. So I'm like,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's my bad. But
Apologies.
hit that like button if you're listening on podcast platforms with Spotify, iTunes, Pocket Cast, wherever. Give us a rate, give us a review. You can follow me at Marley Loves Film everywhere, talking about family and and Vin Diesel. I don't always, but I don't always talk about family. I always talk about movies too. But just follow me at Marley Loves Film pretty much everywhere. Uh, and stay tuned for next week when we're going to be talking about A Face in the Crowd.
Who's doing that one?
I have you locked in for that one. I have not seen A Face in the Crowd, so I'm super excited. That's 1960s, right? That's like
19 That's a 1957 movie, I think. A Face in the Crowd.
yeah. So
1957. That's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
right. So stay tuned for that. That's
It's
next
coming.
week's pod,
Oh,
and
that's coming.
for for the Real Lovers podcast, I'm Marley Silverbrand,
And I'm
and
Vincent Kabamba. You call me Anthony.
and keep watching movies. See ya. Peace. That was